Assalamualaikum and good morning to Sir Raziz Sasali and Sir Muhammad Wafi Abdul Rahman. My name is Siti Aishah Binti My metric number is 2020830846. Today, I will present my research study which title is The Relationship Between Mental Health and Academic Performance Among Students of Faculty Sports Science Recreation in UiTM. WHO site found that good mental health is the cornerstone for the health and well-being of a person, and poor mental health is also related to speedy social illiteration, occupational pressure, isolation, unhealthy behavior, threat of violence, and physical disease. The finding of the 8-country WHO World Mental Health International College Student Project indicate that mental health conditions stand associated with age, sex, marital status, ethnicity, parent, school ranking, sexual orientation, and college motivation. Based on this finding of past researchers, it is plausible to think that mental health problem might be important in affecting the academic performance of university students. This research will investigate on how this element influence the mental health of university students. Thus, the purpose of this research is to examine the relationship between mental health and academic performance among students at Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation in University Technology Mara. Next, statement of the problem. The mental health status influence student academic accomplishment and execution. In this way, evaluation of the emotional wellness of students is a need for the specialists of universities. Proof shows that students are inclined to various upsetting occasions at various scholastic levels following the National Health and Mobility Survey (NHMS) in 2015 of Malaysia, as it states that the occurrence of mental health problem among adults show an increased trend. Increase from 10.7% in the year of 1996 to 29.2% in the year of 2015. The survey demonstrates that females, younger adults, other Bumiputra, and adults from lower income families seem to be at risk of mental health problem. The instructive conditions has become a basic zone to comprehend the explanation behind this wonder, just as to block and anticipate future burnout occurring through a right mental rightness among understudies. This day, on account of the modernized innovation and the unrelenting force of the world to improve, college students are forced to turn out to be far better than past students, getting progressively worried constantly, and this affect their mental health. Next is research objective. Following the purpose of the study, the following research objectives were formulated to guide the proposed study. First, to identify the incidence of mental health in a sample among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Second is to identify the incidence of academic performance in a sample among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Third is to examine the relationship between mental health and academic performance among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in University Technology Mara. The last one is to examine the difference in mental health between students' gender of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in University Technology Mara. Next is research hypothesis. For the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant relationship between mental health and academic performance among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. In contrast, for a null hypothesis, there is no significant relationship between mental health and academic performance among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Significance of the study. Furthermore, as stated in the problems, past researchers debate that females have more academic expectation from parents, and other researchers debate that men have more unstable mental health when relating to academic performance. Thus, this research could contribute on identify the difference of gender in the mental health among students in Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation. This can help society outside and inside of UiTM to increase awareness on their mental health.
Next, literature review. This author presented a literature review concerning critical knowledge of the existing research that has significance of the study. This study examined the relationship between mental health and academic performance among students at Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Pointedly, the objectives of this research are: first, to identify the incidence of mental health in a sample among students of the Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Second, to identify the incidence of academic performance in a sample among students of Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Third is to examine the relationship between mental health and academic performance among students of Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. The last one is to examine the difference in mental health between students' gender of Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation in UiTM. Now, we will see about mental health. What is mental health? According to World Health Organization, WHO, there is no one official definition of mental health, although it is defined as a person's psychological, emotional, and social well-being, which determines how individuals feel, think, and behave. Currently, the prevalence of mental health problems has reached unprecedented level globally, where anxiety, depression, and stress has been identified as common mental health issues impacting individuals worldwide. However, based on a previous study found that 792 million people live with a mental health disorder, which is slightly more than 1 in 10 people globally. Has that need fulfillment occurs when hedonic, eudaimonic experience are perceived as one state. That spiritual well-being is known as one of the major dimensions of well-being in human beings. Based on the slide, the first point is hedonic perspective. Hedonic are sentiments of pleasure and displeasure, the key to emotional process. Baker also states that emotions are not values. Mental experience not following physical situation. The mental state incorporate psychological necessities such as hunger, tissue damage such as acute pain, and ideal function such as well-being, and social interaction dynamics such as gratitude. Relation, gratitude, and enjoyment are positive emotions because the reception of a desirable stimulus or the failure or eradication of a harmful stimulus or occurrence may create pleasure. At the same time, the pleasure is dissatisfaction, shame, or annoying. This may be caused by negative behavior or stimuli, a punitive reaction, or the inclusion or removal of a reward. Next, the eudaimonic perspective. Eudaimonic perspective to hedonic well-being, which encompass good emotion and life satisfaction. For a common domain of mental health is spiritual well-being. This point is an important human well-being component. This domain is a capacity to develop, coordinate, and harmonious connection with God, oneself, and others. Change and adapt one personal and social surrounding, and resolve personal and collective tendencies equitably, reasonable, and balanced. That spiritual well-being entails a personal relationship with God, which is from an Islamic viewpoint. That spiritual well-being pertains to all domains of well-being at all age. Thus, one of the essential steps of spiritual therapy is evaluating working adults' perception of spiritual to establish strategy for avoiding their physical and mental health affected. Next, about the academic performance. Defining academic performance can be challenging. Universities may define academic performance as good standing with grade or making satisfactory improvement toward operating degree requirements. However, academic performance does not necessarily relate to only the grades of the students, but a variety of other factors may contribute to what is defined as academic performance. General academic skill. General academic skill is defined as a combination of effort spent learning skill and self-organizational tactic. Effort defined as site in Pittridge as the method when students try and control their behavior while doing an adverse or boring task, while self-organization also by comprise skills like time management, workload balance, and help-seeking behavior. State that students' ability of time management incorporates a significant impact on their academic performance. Lack of time management was highlighted as the reason for weak academic performance. Internal motivation or confidence. Internal motivation can be defined as a personal encouragement that stimulates an individual to do an action concerning the academic success of college student. Internal motivation rests as a vital concept as it reveals the basic human tendency to acquire knowledge and adapt. Internal motivation is associated with better academic performance as supported by PECOS. Finding from others state that goal orientation and perceived belief has contributed directly and indirectly to the academic success of students through internal encouragement. The result also showed that intrinsic orientation was the key determinant of internal motivation. Accompanied by perceived learning, it was also found that religious motive within a perceived value constructor contribute significantly to student academic performance, direct and indirect, via internal motivation. Perceived instructor efficiency state that an instructor efficiency is often established by whether they communicate or insert themselves with the students. Findings state that the perceived ability of the lecturer to create a good relationship with students positively influence their perception and suitable from the teaching approach used, and the appropriateness of this method in turn influences the student's level of knowledge acquisition and competence progress. Furthermore, financial trust in lecturer through not student self-efficacy has acted as a mediator in the relationship between transformation, teaching, and increased student participation, increased student productivity, and motivation. Concentration and self-regulation. Define concentration as the capability of concentrating as well as paying close mental attention to a particular subject, while self-regulation can be defined as the ability of the student to set work-related tasks, realistic goals, take responsibility for their learning, retain focus as well as motivation, and have an ability of adjustment strategy when the task need adjustment. found out that the self-efficacy and self-regulatory learning significantly affect the academic success of the learner. The researchers' results indicate that there is a strong association between the three variables in student. External motivation or current and future. Motivation is a theoretically complex concept broadly defined as a mental trait that induces a person to work toward their desired goal. Models relating college accomplishment to creativity are varied, although it is clear that motivation is essential to the academic success of university students. There is a distinction among internal motivation and external motivation in current literature. Next, socializing. Socialization defined. Socialization theory explains the process of the individual development of a human personality within a social environment with specific living condition. Associate socializing as per party, drinking or lack of class attendance to determine one academic performance. Past research on this domain has stated the importance of socializing as people evaluate how others can help them reach their goals while establishing and sustaining relationship with others. Career decisiveness. Career from a general point of view is a combination and order of the roles that play throughout life, while career incidences refer to individual commitment to his or her choice of career and his or her satisfaction with this choice. Lack of anxiety. The word anxiety is derived from the Latin word anger, meaning the cause distress, while define anxiety as a vague, uncomfortable feeling exacerbated by prolonged stress and the presence of multiple stressors. Test anxiety, on the other hand, defined as a pervasive form of academic anxiety harms the patterns of belief and behavior common to testing situations. Personal adjustment. The commencement of university marks a period of great change, uncertainty, transition, and novelty for students as it includes navigating a much less familiar learning environment with increased flexibility and personal accountability. A shift in social network and call for more independent learning.
Next is conceptual framework. The conceptual framework comprises mental health and academic performance. The mental health of students will affect the educational performance of students. There are three dimensions of mental health which accommodate spiritual well-being, hedonic perspective, eudaimonic perspective. For academic performance, there are 10 dimensions which include general academic skill, internal motivation future, socializing, career decisiveness, lack of anxiety, personal adjustment, perceived instructor efficiency, external motivation, future, concentration, and external motivation current. Academic performance is often enhanced if the student's mental health is positive, which suggests that if they have a good mental health, it will reflect positively on their academic performance. Next is methodology, research design. The methodology of this study can be shown as a research design. However, the research design of this study is non-experimental, quantitative, questionnaire, descriptive, and chi-square test. Now, I will explain every point of the research design for my study. The research design of this research was not experimental, quantitative research. Quantitative research emphasizes measurement and the statistical, mathematical, and numerical analysis of data collected through a questionnaire or other form of collection. This research was descriptive, correlations, and ANOVA. Descriptive was used to analyze the respondents' demographic profile. Correlation was used to study the relation of mental health and academic performance among students of Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in University Technology Mara. Next, sample size, and sample technique. Based on the slide, the random sample used in this study is sample random sampling. Sample random sampling is probability sampling in which the researchers select and selection of respondents at random from a population. The target population for this study is recreational sports science diploma and degree students. Researchers survey a population of 3,456 sports and recreation science students from 5 UiTM campus. The suitable sample for the 3,456 students is 341. Adding up to 20% in the case of the unwritten questionnaire. With convenient sampling, researchers select subjects based on the purpose of the study, with the hope that each participant will provide valuable information to the study. Next is instrumentation. Section A is the demographic profile. This was focused on the demographic profile of the respondent, which involved gender, age, race, marital status, campus, and cumulative grade point average for the previous semester. This section was self-developed with the assistance of a supervisor. A Crobatch alpha score of 0.89 student sample and 0.91 population sample suggests some item redundancy or excess in the scale of the original WEM-WBS of 14 item scale TNET. The WEM-WBS accredited 6 item of spiritual item show a high Crobatch alpha value of 0.85. The now overall reliability of the WEM-WBS accredited was 0.94, indicating that the tool was correlation with scale measuring of overall health TNET. But section C is the academic success inventory for college students. The current research adopt and adapt all the domain is the questionnaire, but only 48 questions were used as 2 questions were inconsistent with the research. A Likert scale of 7 point was used using item rate from 1 to 7. The reliability validity of the 48 item measure was also inspected. Crobatch alpha of the total A6 was 91, and needs support for the reliability and validity of the total questionnaire. Next is data collection procedure. First, ethic approval from the University Research Ethics Committee, University Technology Mara. Second, give information and briefing to the sample about the study and questionnaire. Third, distribute to the sample of diploma and degree students at Faculty Sports Science and Recreation, University Technology Mara through Google Form. Fourth, run data analysis using statistical software, namely Statistical Package for Social Science SPSS version 27. Fifth is interpret the data. For the data collection procedure, the researchers will be granted permission to perform the study by the University Ethics Committee. The researchers utilize Google Form since the collecting technique was quick, and an online survey was one of the easiest ways to deliver the questionnaire. The researcher provide material outlining the study and the questionnaire to ensure that the respondents were well informed about the research objective. Lastly, the data were then collected from the respondent and analyzed. Last but not least is data analysis. The data collected was analysed using the Statistical Package for Social Science (SPSS) version 27. Both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics were used to analyse the data. Descriptive statistics were used on the demographic variable in section A, which is gender, age, race, nationality, marital status, campus and program. Descriptive statistics was used to explore the research objective related to the first and second objective of the study, which is to identify the incidence of mental health and incidence of academic performance in a sample of students in Faculty Sports Science and Recreation in University Technology Mara. The references. Here are some references I used to make it easier for me to do this research. So that's all from my presentation. Thank you.